when you start learning the Rebbe's Siches, the Rebbe's Ma'amorim, you learn the Farbrengens, you read the letters from the Rebbe, you see that the Rebbe has very high expectations. The Rebbe demands a lot in the avodah of every chassid. Sai, the avodah with himself, and sai in the avodah with others, to bring others closer to Yiddishkeit, bring them closer to Chassidus, and bring them to the highest levels of being a chassid. And the Rebbe demands zeir heiche avodah. With expectation that it should be done. And this inyan of this strong expectation and this strong demand and this strong level of avodah that the Rebbe asks of us, we see that the Rebbe asks even from the children. One of the special things by the Rebbe is that the Rebbe would speak siches, ganze rallies specifically for the children. And the Rebbe spoke to them in such a way that they have a major potential and they could accomplish so much. And their avodah could be on such a high oifen, on such a great oifen, to overcome the Yetzer Hara, to live a life of complete devotion and dedication to the Eibishter. Ad kedei kach that the Rebbe speaks to the children more than once in a oifen that they should live in such an oifen that their eating and other gashmiistic things should only be for a higher purpose from children. And therefore they will only eat healthy, v'chulu v'chulu, because they're eating in order to have koyach to serve the Eibishter. And you look throughout any Farbrengen, you see the avodah was the Rebbe mont, the avodah that the Rebbe demands on a very high oifen. The Rebbe, the lashon that the Rebbe says in the letter, there's a bitochen, there is a trust and a belief that the Rebbe has in every single one of us, especially by the children and the bachrim, but from every chassid. You know, sometimes a person could have expectations from you. It could be a parent, it could be a teacher, and an expectation is a good thing. It means that the person believes in you. It's a compliment. But sometimes the person who has an expectation from you is wrong. They don't know. Maybe you really can't do it. The Rebbe's expectation means that we are able to do it. And not only it means that we are able to do it, it means that the Rebbe gives us the koiches to be able to do it. There's a sicha from the Rebbe. It's in the Farbrengen of Shabbos Shuva, Tovshin Mem Beis. The Rebbe speaks over there about very high levels of tshuva and very high levels of avodah. And the Rebbe says, a person is going to say, Yoda inish benafshe, I know myself. And I know that I'm not shaykh to this avodah. This is way beyond my capabilities. Way beyond what I'm able to do. The Rebbe says, you know what's the answer to this person? That lo yoda benafshoy. He doesn't really know himself. The reason why he is saying that he can't is because he doesn't know himself. But if he would actually know himself, that he has a neshama, and the neshama is a chelek elika mimal mamish, then he would know that he's able to do it. And that's how the Rebbe looks at every single chassid. And the demands from the Rebbe of every single chassid is based on your capabilities as a person who has an neshama, which is a chelek eloka mima'al mamish. So therefore, there is nothing that you cannot do. There's no demands from the Rebbe that's beyond your reach. It takes avodah, it takes effort, but you're able to do it. And the Rebbe lifts us up in such an oifen that we take, if we pay attention and will connect, then we will feel the greatest capabilities that we already have. And hopefully, we'll do the avodah of using those capabilities. The Rebbe gießt koiches. And the Rebbe continues to encourage and to strengthen. Aber wir dürfen auftan die Arbeit bei sich und bei anderen. There was a Seder during the Farbrengens, the Shabbos-dike Farbrengens, in the Mems, in the Nuns, that people who were making a Farbrengen or a similar type of event would give in a bottle of mashke to the Rebbe through the maskiros before Shabbos. And during the Farbrengen, the Rebbe would, towards the end of the Farbrengen, usually say that those who prepared the mashke ha-mesameach should come up and get it. And there was a whole seder. The Rebbe would pour ultimately from the bottle of mashke to the person who was receiving the bottle and give the person the bottle, and the person would announce, whoever received the bottle would announce what is the Farbrengen, Farbunden, and invite the Rebbe and invite the Olam to the Farbrengen. That was the Seder. Every Shabbos there were, I don't know, maybe 10 bottles, sometimes a lot more bottles, like by Knis HaShluchim Shabbos was a lot of bottles, V'chayetze Bozeh. On Shabbos Parshas Shoftim Daled Elul Tovshin Nun, which was the Shabbos before the Siyum HaKadosh for my father Olav HaSholem, before Shabbos we gave in a bottle for a Farbrengen that we were going to make during the week, the Kesher with the Siyum Amiras HaKadosh. And by the Farbrengen, when it came time for the Chalukas HaMashke, for giving out the Mashke, the Rebbe poured for me, I was on the Rebbe's right side, the Rebbe poured for me from the bottle a little bit of mashke in my cup, and I said l'chaim to the Rebbe gave me a piece of cake, I was 8 years old at the time. Ingel saying l'chaim on mashke needs a piece of cake after the pashtus. I had prepared a few lines to say as the announcement, b'kesher with taking the bottle, because that was the Seder. I wasn't very eager to say over this little announcement to the whole 770, hundreds of people in front of the Rebbe. So I figured, after the Rebbe gave me a bottle, I decided I just won't make the announcement. Everyone else is getting bottles. I mean, not everyone else, but other people are getting bottles, and they're making the announcement. Who's going to notice that I didn't make my announcement? So I went on the side. The Rebbe stopped giving out the mashke. And the Rebbe turned around. And the Rebbe looked at me. And the Rebbe waited. And now you have no choice. The Rebbe's turning around and the Rebbe's waiting and everyone's waiting. So I made the announcement. The Rebbe watched the entire time. And when I finished, I don't know, maybe 40 seconds, a minute, tops. And then the Rebbe continued to give out the rest of the bottles, and the Farbrengen continued. The Rebbe didn't let me get away with it. you need to do, this is a small thing, but for a little kid, you need to do something, you need to do it. You can't get away with it. Man darf arbeiten, man darf ausnutzen die Keuches. Especially in the inyan of bringing Moshiach. This is something that the Rebbe spent a lot of time talking to us over the years, that a Yid has the koyach to change the world and bring Moshiach. How many times did the Rebbe quote what the Rambam says? Maise echad could be machriya es kol ha'olam kuloi lekaf schus. And the Rebbe would add a maise, a dibur, or a machshava. Your avodah could be the avodah that brings Moshiach, because we are the ones who are going to bring Moshiach. And the Rebbe spent time explaining to us, encouraging us that we should realize and recognize the koiches that we have and the capabilities that we have. And we should take and recognize that we are able to do it. If we will actually recognize and realize and accept, come to this realization, what the Rebbe believes in us, and what the Rebbe told us, and the Rebbe encouraged us, that we could make Moshiach come. And therefore we have the responsibility to make Moshiach come. And we can't rest. We can't take a nap. We can't move on from it. Min darf zen bringen Moshiach. Because we could do it. And if we'll recognize and realize, this is what the Rebbe is telling us, you could do it, you have the ability, you have the koiches, then we will actually jump up, get out of bed. Like the Rebbe says, dalei schlafen, enough sleeping. And we will make sure to not rest and not stop until b'peil mamish we have the geula shleima. Just want to finish off with bringing a letter that the Rebbe wrote on Tes Shvat Tovshin Yud Aleph. It was a letter that the Rebbe wrote to Rabbi Avram Paris. The Rebbe wrote, Rabbi Avram, men darf bringen dem Rebbe. Azay ist zu schwer. Sei für mir, sei für euch. Und wer hat ein Neue davon? Rabbi Avram, we need to bring down the Rebbe. Like this is too difficult for me and for you, and who has a benefit from it. The Eibishter soll helfen. That take it from a yad mamish now. We should be zeiche zu sich sehen mit dem Rebbe. And the Rebbe will take us out of Golus and lead us to the Geula HaAmitis VaHashleima.